This is a Fox News alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran. Just moments ago, President Donald Trump putting out on Truth Social, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. Again, this from President Donald Trump. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Again, that's just seconds ago from President Donald Trump on Truth Social, suggesting that those B-2 bombers that perhaps were on the way may have been behind this. We'll get more details on these 3 sites that the president said has been attacked inside Iran. This comes after days of negotiations to try to get Iran to the negotiating table. The president of the United States saying it would have to be unconditional surrender, saying enrichment would have to stop. We heard from negotiations in Europe that that was not being accepted by the Iranians, that they would not stop enriching uranium. There was a thought that this could go as long as 2 weeks, as the president said he would decide within 2 weeks. However, 2 days is within 2 weeks. And now word from President Donald Trump that these attacks have happened. Again, interesting that 3 sites have been struck by U.S. bombers. And this, again, we'll get more information about the exact targets and what bombs were used. We expect that the GBU-57, the bunker buster, the massive penetrator bomb, may have been one of those used. Fordo is a nuclear facility inside Iran that is roughly a half-mile deep underneath a rock mountain-like facility that has been said to be the site of a lot of the enrichment capability. Esfahan, believed to be a storage facility for enriched uranium, and Natanz, another part of the nuclear facilities. They have several throughout Iran. It has been long described as a very difficult and tedious effort to go after these nuclear sites, but the U.S., for the first time, launching an attack inside Iran. Again, the president of the United States saying all of the planes are out of Iranian airspace. The bombings do continue by the Israelis inside Iran as this back and forth volley between Israel and Iran has continued for some 2 weeks. We expect to hear more about this operation, not only from the Pentagon, but perhaps from the White House, although the White House this evening rather, has called a lid, as far as meaning no one will talk after that. That may be changing now. Obviously, we have this Truth Social post from President Donald Trump.
And welcome to Hannity. We begin tonight with this Fox News alert. I just spoke to the President of the United States. I have some new information and breaking details to share about tonight's what is historic air campaign. Now, tonight, Iran's nuclear ambitions, they are officially dead. It appears the United States just completely obliterated Iran's top secret Fordo nuclear facility with 6 huge bunker buster bombs. It was originally speculated that you would only need 2. It turns out they used 5 to 6, dropped from America's stealth B-2 bombers. And that's not all. 2 other major Iranian nuclear sites, Natanz and Esfahan, were wiped out with 30 Tomahawk missiles launched by American submarines some 400 miles away. Everyone is out of harm's way for now. That does not mean that American assets in the region are not at risk. And we are monitoring the Iranian response or potential response all throughout the night. We expect the president will be speaking sometime either in this hour or in the next hour. In a statement the president posted to Truth Social, he wrote, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including the Fordo site, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iranian airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, that's Fordo, and all planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. We will hear more from the president. We expect within the next hour, hour and a half, we will be on at least till 11 Eastern tonight from the White House. And of course, we'll take you there live as it all happens. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Okay, so we got to play this game. We have to play the game where we pretend that Donald Trump is the most evil person in the history of the world. We have to play the game where Trump is Hitler and all this stuff because he did something that I honestly believe was in the best interest of the entire planet. Everybody's upset about it. I'm not. I really don't care. I actually am happy that this happened because I was kind of wondering why there was hesitation to destroy the nuclear program of someone who of a country that clearly has shown that they are willing to use any resources they acquire to promote and fund terrorism. I was kind of wondering, but this just shows me how much you guys don't pay attention. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to come up here. This is not one of those shows where I just talk and I force you to agree with me. I don't want you to agree with me. I want us to have a dialogue. I want to tell you my opinion and I want you to tell me yours. So the link is going to be put in the comments in about 2 to 4 minutes, maybe less. Okay, so I've been watching on like social media where all my friends who think they know about what's going on in the military, who's stronger, you just got these idiotic people. Iran's got some secret up their sleeve and they're really stronger than everybody thinks, and China's going to intervene and Russia's going to do something. I was watching these guys, right? And the whole time I'm watching these guys, I'm waiting to see if they are going to pay attention or mention the fact that 2 days ago, Trump approved this strike. How did you not know this was coming? Oh, because when Trump kept saying he's going to give Iran 2 weeks to respond, when Trump was saying, I'm going to give Iran 2 weeks to make a decision on whether they're going to listen to us or not. You guys actually believe that, huh? You guys fell for that. But if you have been watching as close as I have been watching, which I know the people who will debate me were not, Trump approved this strike 2 days ago. He literally gave the military the approval to strike Iran, to strike these nuclear facilities 2 days ago. Yeah, he 2 weeks. I mean 2 days. He literally approved it, and it was published in the mainstream media. But everyone was literally so focused on you guys were. Let's be real. You guys were all secretly rooting for Iran against Israel. You were so distracted, hoping that Iran was going to be able to beat Israel at this missile exchange. You didn't even realize that the United States entered the war 2 days ago. And what I want to say is, let this be a lesson to you. If you really want to have a say in what goes on in this country, the number one thing you're going to have to pay is not money. It's going to be attention. Because in the 2 days that passed since Trump approved this strike, you could have been writing your congressman. You could have been letting the person who has been democratically elected to represent you, you could have been letting them know in no uncertain terms, to steal that from Yvette Carnell, that you were not approving, did not approve of Donald Trump striking into Iran on behalf of Israel. But people don't pay attention. People don't pay attention. If you don't believe me, it was actually announced on Fox News, which is crazy, but nobody pays attention. We can't watch Fox News. We can only watch whatever the Democrats tell us to watch. Well, you're going to miss a lot. You're going to miss. I got you, Killer Cam. You're going to miss a lot because there's a lot being announced. There's a lot being shared on all media platforms. And if you're not careful, you just might miss it. So 2 days ago, I got an alert because I'm signed up for the alerts that there was literally an alert, y'all.
Fox News alert. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that President Trump privately has approved an attack plan for Iran, but has not yet given the final order. Will the U.S. get involved? Should we get involved? And what would it look like? David Burke, retired Lieutenant Colonel, is a Top Gun instructor and Marine Corps officer. David, great to see you.
Okay. So you guys heard that. So a week ago, he said, I'm going to give Iran 2 weeks. Then 2 days ago, he approves the military. He gives them approval to strike into Iran. Okay, if he gave them approval, you think he was really going to say, let's give them 2 weeks to prepare to defend against our planes that are going to bring the payload to bomb their military, their nuclear facilities? You would be absolutely stupid. You would be absolutely stupid to think that that's what the president of the United States was going to do. Now he bombs these facilities and everyone is confused. But if you were really paying attention, which is your duty as an American, you would not have been caught off guard about this, just like I wasn't. I was like, oh, he finally did it. Okay, we knew this was going to come. Now, there's some questions that people are going to have. Is Trump the Antichrist? Is this the end of days? Oh, my God, Trump is Hitler, all this stuff. Guys, was Obama Hitler when he was dropping 29,000 bombs on freaking innocent civilians in an attempt to hit rebels and terrorists? Trump then dropped 3 bombs, basically, well, to take out the nuclear facilities. He dropped 3 payloads for that, and several Tomahawk missiles fired from submarines. That's a problem. That's the end of the world. This guy's the Antichrist. But Obama, who dropped 29,000 bombs, I believe they said Obama dropped more bombs than in World War II. I could be wrong about that, but I think it was something like that. Or more bombs than Vietnam. No, there were planes used. There were planes used, guys. Come on, Bertram. There were planes. Brooklyn Stevens, thank you. Someone who reads. Obama dropped so many bombs, America ran out of bombs. That's how many bombs Obama dropped. But you guys are going to try to convince me that because Trump hit strategic sites where there should be no women, no children, only the materials necessary to build nuclear, to enrich uranium. That's it. And all of a sudden, this is the end of the world. This is the end of days. No, if you would have let Iran get nuclear weapons, that would have been the end of days, because they are not afraid to use them. And it might still be the end of days because Iran is going to try to retaliate. Someone's like, they're going to aim bombs at Colorado. Do you think that Iran even has intercontinental missiles? They were trying to get some, but they never got them. Thank goodness, right? Thank goodness, right? Trump is live right now. Oh, my God. Trump is live. You guys want to watch Trump live? Put a 1 if you want to hear Trump live. Trump is live right now. This should be like on the top of everyone's list. I don't see Trump being live. Trump is live. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You gotta love Trump. Let me see. Hey, a man of few words. That's it. There was nothing there. There was nothing to it.
Those names for years as they built this horribly. Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Hey, shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy Trump, man. Trump, this is what leadership looks like. It really, the whole time I'm listening to that address, I'm just like, yo, what was Biden doing? What were the Democrats doing? And if you guys want to blame someone, if you guys really want to blame someone for all this and Trump is a traitor and all this stuff, why don't you just blame Joe Biden? He's the one who gave Iran the billions of dollars that they needed to bolster their nuclear enrichment program, their uranium enrichment program. Oh, also you could blame your boy Obama. right? See, you guys are like, it's their money. They get the money. They fund the terrorists. They enrich uranium. And then they scream death to America. They want to kill America. They want to kill Israel. They want to destroy these places. They said it like, no, they never said that. They say it every day when they wake up. They like chant it. It's like your neighbor wants to kill you. And he's over at his house and he's loading up his gun and you know he wants to kill you, but you're like, I'm not going to call the police because I don't think it's right for me to call the cops. It's like you know us with the stop snitching rule. Yeah, he over there with the gun loading up to kill you, but don't snitch. Then when he come through busting caps on you, oh my God, he's busting caps. Of course, us as African Americans don't understand. We love letting people come into our community who destroy us and kill us. We let drill rappers take over our communities, 16-year-olds with guns. So of course you guys don't understand the concept of projecting strength. Of course you don't understand the concept of preemptive strikes. Of course that's foreign to us. Because if that was us, we would have let them run right up in us and then try to cry to victim. Oh, they hurt us. They're racist. That's all we know. That's all we know. I put the link in the comments a while back. Don't nobody want the smoke, huh? Because all of you guys secretly agree. You do not let someone who chants death to America enrich uranium to the point where they can make nuclear weapons, Goofy. You don't do that. You don't do that. And then they wouldn't even let anyone in to inspect to make sure that they weren't enriching uranium to that level. No, Brandon, you got to do what's right. We did do what's right. Trump did it. Dropped a bomb on their ass. Now, you knew he was going to hit the sites, so if you don't want to lose any troops, just evacuate. You knew the bombs were coming. You knew they were going to drop that joint on you to destroy your nuclear facilities, all three of them. There's probably 4. Somewhere. Another out there somewhere. Listen, stacked in crypto. I served. What does you serving have to do with anything? What did you serve? Were you a cryptologist? Were you in military intelligence? Because if you weren't, shut up. Thank you for your service. Coley, Israel is putting. No, they're not, because they're smart enough to ally with the United States, and we're not. Come on, dude. You guys, hey, you guys kill me with this. Okay, so if Iran would have dropped a nuclear weapon on the United States, what was y'all going to do? What was y'all going to do? Brandon, you know what we do? We're going to get sassy on them and crack jokes. That's the number one weapon of the black community, getting sassy and cracking jokes. Killer Cam, the link has been in the comments for 20 minutes and you still yapping. I'm not playing these games with y'all. We over here raising families. We're over here raising families, children. And you guys are so caught up on your self-righteous nonsense that you would put those children in danger. You would allow a country who chants death to America and their political what is it? I don't know if it's a parliament or what, but within their political buildings or capital, they chant death to America. The Ayatollah, an 86-year-old old fart who would be happy to bomb something and then initiate the mutual destruction of his country because he's going to be dead anyway in a couple of years. A radical extremist. I bet you that border going to be closed. Bear Down said, will this affect ICE and immigration? Hell yeah, because that border is about to be closed. Shut up, Black Canadian. Because if Iran bombed America, Canadian troops was all up in Iraq and Afghanistan. Stop it. Stop it. If they bomb us, the nuclear fallout, the radiation is going to come over there and get y'all anyway. So keep sucking syrup, you hoser. Go ahead, Bandit Anansi.
So my question is this. Can you hear me, guys?
Hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. So, do you think that other countries will get involved, or they'll just kind of step back and be like,
Which
"I
which countries do you think are going to get involved? Which ones could possibly get involved? China,
I don't think China will.
Russia.
I believe Russia might.
Russia, who can't even invade a country that's right next door
Yeah.
properly. Russia, who's been bogged down for 2 years by a bunch of drug addicts and grapists. Like, come on, let's be real,
Hey,
man. Be real.
with the support of the U.S. and the United Nations and all the EU
Even
and
with
all
the
that.
U.S. pumping in weapons to that place, you got bogged down with Ukraine, bro. Russia, who the United States destroyed their Nord Stream pipeline, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and they couldn't even prove it. Everyone in the world knew the United States destroyed that pipeline, and Russia couldn't even prove it, bro. They got their entire naval fleet sank in their own harbor, basically, by a country that didn't even have a navy. Think about that. Think about that. Russia is just like, dude, I'm glad they ain't on our ass. Russia like, woo, they not paying attention to Ukraine no more. That's all Russia's worried about.
Well, I don't think Russia would be too involved just to think about it because how how Trump handled the situation with Ukraine, I'm sure they wouldn't want them on their behind either.
Listen, none of these countries have what it takes to fight on behalf of Iran. Y'all be like, somebody's in the comments, oh, there's planes going over there. Listen, bro, when troops start going over there, that's when you should be worried. Like when those North Korean troops start going into Ukraine, that's when Ukraine should have needed to start worrying about North Korea. Sending bombs and stuff ain't gonna do nothing because you're already getting bombed. Anything that you set up to launch a bomb is gonna get bombed. You guys act like people just fart bombs out their ass and they go across continents. That's not how that works. Iran talked tough because that's what their regime needed to do to continue to have a godlike hold over the minds of their people. They weren't really as tough as they talked, but they had to project strength. And the way to do that was to negotiate with the United States and Israel about having their nuclear program, supervised. They didn't want to do that because they're led by a dude who's old as hell, who is a radical extremist who hates America. Have you guys ever heard of the term being blinded by hate? That's what you have in places like Iran. They're so blinded by their hate of Israel and America, they can't even see that it will be better to be friendly with these places until you get strong enough to where you can fight them. That's what Germany did after World War I. They were friendly with the West until they got strong enough to go and fight and launch World War II. Germany fought World War I in 1914. They got beat. 15 years later, they struck up World War II. Why? Because they were nice for 15 years. They gained everyone's trust over 15 years. And the whole time, they were secretly building facilities to build tanks and weapons and planes so they could try to beat everybody up again. Iran is too dumb to do that. They're just sitting up like, we hate America, and yeah, we're gonna throw these mud rocks at them. You guys, if you understood how Middle Eastern militaries operate, you would understand that hold on. You would understand why it's very unlikely that Iran or any other Middle Eastern country is going to beat the West in any type of fight. It's a cultural issue. That's why they really can't win. That's why they couldn't beat Israel. Remember Israel? I think it was the 13 Days War. What was that called, Bandit? 13 Days War?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I'm not really too well in depth about the Middle East. Can you hear me still?
yeah, I hear you. But
Yeah.
uh,
But if there were to be a country who would get involved, what country would you think would more than likely get involved? I still think it's probably next to Zilch, but like what country would you think would get involved?
I don't even know no country. 6 Day War. Sorry, 6 Day War. No country's gonna get involved. Everyone's like,
Hey, but
go ahead.
Brandon, you gotta understand this though. Big salute, man. Been watching you do your thing on the viral way and on No
Thank
Jumper.
you.
You went to Cabrillo High School.
Yeah,
Did you play football with Earl or Eric Morgan?
yeah. I play with Earl Morgan, my boy. Big
Okay,
Earl.
Earl is my boy. The Morgan family, Sister Shafay, big old Eric. So yeah. I used to stay in the Windward Village. I'm 43, and I used to work Eric out and do stuff like that and everything else. But I just wanted to ask you that before we go ahead and get it in.
Okay, yeah.
But small world. So the thing is, you can't underestimate anybody anywhere. You know what I mean? I was just looking on to see what bombs we actually used. We used some pretty heavy bombs that, you know what I'm saying? So some bombs that they said we ain't used them before, and they use these bombs to go ahead to get up in there. But the whole thing is, there's always a reaction to everything. It may
Can I
take a
ask a
little bit of
question real
time
quick? Don't
before
mean to interrupt.
Wait,
somebody want to
hey,
step
God,
up.
listen. Wait a minute. Let the brother finish his point.
All right, my bad.
Yeah, there may be a little bit of time before another country feels like, hey, you know, we want to go ahead and take it there. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of countries that hate the USA.
What
It's a
country?
lot of countries that hate.
That's what
It's
he's
a lot
asking.
of them.
Just name one that would have the capabilities to actually engage in an open war with the United States.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be just one country to try to engage with the United States. That's what I'm saying. There could be an underground message thing going on to where some people might get tired of getting bullied like this and say, "Hey, let's go ahead and try something." So
But who's getting?
I'm just saying, don't underestimate
I just want to ask you
anybody.
who's getting bullied though. That's what country's getting bullied.
The U.S. goes around and bullies everyone throughout history. That's what we do. We go
Just
ahead and
give me,
bully.
just give me an example of one country because I've been all around the world. When I talk to, I've been in the Middle East and everywhere else. When I talk to people, the sentiments about the United States are generally favorable. The people who hate the United States the most are the people who live in the United States. I kid you not.
I wouldn't.
Listen, I kid you not. The world thinks that United States of American citizens are stupid. The world's like, you guys have a great country. Why you guys always like arguing with the president? Why you guys always trying to get mad at the government? Bro, if you go to, why do you think they love coming here, bro? That right there alone is the biggest consensus. They don't say, I hate the United States. I ain't never going to. They love coming here. They think we're dumb. If you go to the UK, they will openly tell you the United States is the greatest country ever. They'd be like, I wish I could live there. I got people I know who live in Europe. They will tell you, bro, Europe is shit. I don't want to live back. Like we're like the spoiled kid. We're like the spoiled rich kid who hates his parents, but the kids who come over his house to spend the night are like, man, your parents are awesome. This house is great. That's us. No one hates us more than we do.
Now check this out. Some of that stuff is all the way factual because even out here where I am in Orange County, you know what I mean. You get
Right.
to hear a lot about that. So now, would it be fair to say because Trump said it in his little speech? You know, we have people dying for way too many years. Just look at the 9/11 thing. We had troops over for way too long, and we lost a lot of people. Not that they use anything nuclear. They use regular ass shit to just keep coming at us. We're thinking someone is going to try to get together to throw a big ass thing at us. They ain't that stupid to do that.
I mean, I don't think that the United States thinks someone's going to launch a huge nuclear weapon at the United States. I don't think that. I think the United States kind of knows what the threats are, not being like super egotistical, but there's a reason we have craft carriers in every ocean on the planet. There's a reason why we got people sitting in countries for years collecting intelligence. Like we're doing, that's why there's a reason why we have the largest military budget on earth, right? Because we understand that there are threats. Let me come back to you. I got to move on. Let me get Bishop FDR. What's up, my brother?
Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, this right now, this is the beginning, but understand there's a lot more, like President Trump alluded to. There's more sites that needs to be taken care of. So just understand it's just begun, and it's the first step of many to come.
I mean, I'm with you, but I love how Trump speaks in like definite, like he speaks in like a definitive way. He lets them know we're not playing with you. Like we're ready to smoke your ass for real.
Right.
These other presidents, they talk in these like indirect ways, which it makes it like there's going to be a back and forth. Trump is just like, look, bro, we're not about to do this with you. You did some stuff you know you wasn't supposed to be doing. You've been talking that shit for years. You've been talking that yin yang, as we call it in the hood, for decades. And now we finally done ran up on you, and it's looking like you wasn't able to back none of that stuff up. Kind of looking like when I ran up on Suspect, and he pulled out a butter knife. Like, dude, either put up or shut up. The Iranian people don't, many of them don't even like the government because people don't understand there's a lot of ethnic diversity in Iran. So there's a lot of like ethnic, like abuse based on ethnicity in that country. So if you're like listening to different information that's coming out of the country, a lot of these people are like, look, man, we were waiting for somebody to come get these dudes up off our neck because they basically took power and started oppressing me, like killing women, bro, killing women for like little frivolous offenses. You think those people are like, yeah, I love it here. They hate it. They hate it. But they do love their country, though. That's just like you. You live in America, you hate it, like so you say, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to leave my country because like black folks who are FBA, we hate America, they hate America, but they're not gonna leave and go nowhere else because they like this is our country. What do you think about that, FDR? Do you think the population of Iran supports the government, or do you think they're kind of like will be relieved when somebody kind of?
It's a 60-40 split. I will say this: there's more that been ready for this regime to be over, and they just want fair elections and being able to move forward because not everything is. You got to understand, them and us have been at war for years, eons. Let's forget about years, eons, and it's always something minute that if anybody of a smart mind would come to the table, we could finish. But when you have someone,
Hey, hold on.
Go ahead.
What's happening, man?
My Iranian brother.
Man, how many times I've said not fully Iranian?
Okay, you're half Iraqi, half Iranian. You're bad on both sides. You're bad on both sides, but I love you.
It's a conflict.
It's a conflict. It's an everyday struggle, right? Listen, I got one question. Iranian people, angry or happy that America and Israel are doing some stuff over there in Iran?
Man, so it's a 50-50 thing from what I hear. There's a group that wants to see the regime fall and they want U.S. to attack. But then there's another group that does not want any war at all. However, secretly, they probably want to see the regime fall. So I would say right now it's 65-70, but they don't want war. That's the common thing. They don't want war.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of people do. Yeah, a lot of people do want to see, some change. So
hey, thank you, my brother. Tell your wife I said hi and I love you. You know that.
Yeah, man. I'm right here with her. I'll say what's up to her.
All right, for sure.
Yeah. But see,
Listen.
go ahead.
When you guys talk, you talk from ignorance. When I speak, I'm talking to people. This guy got married in Iran. He literally flew to Iran to marry his wife that he met in Iran. His whole his family is rich over there. They're filthy rich over there. They're good. They live in a freaking on a big ass piece of land with natural lakes, and I didn't even know there were lakes in the desert. Shit. They over there, yeah, we got a fishery. They got all types of shit. Do you listen? So when people are on the internet, this and that, with your theories, I'm just like, let me ask. I could call my Syrian homies up right now. I
Right.
talked to my other homies who's from Kuwait. I got another video coming to y'all about how we've all been lied to about the Palestinians. Okay? What if I told you that there were countries who took in Palestinian refugees already? And you know what the Palestinians did? They started civil wars in those countries. Several countries did that. So when you say no one wants to let the Palestinians in, there's a reason for that. So you guys have to entertain the idea that maybe I've been lied to. Maybe what I think, based purely on emotion from what I'm seeing from the mainstream media, does not reflect the sentiments of the people who live there. Go ahead, FDR. But
No.
you were right. You were right on that stat, though. You were right on
Yeah,
that stat.
yeah. All I want to say is, right now, just make sure you enrich yourself in researching. Don't fly off the handle. Everybody, you got to start digging and start paying attention to the ground roots. Do what you can in your area to change the narrative, to push the narrative to where it's time to unite and let foolishness go. Because believe it or not, nobody wins at war, but it's oftentimes necessary to complete something. So with that said, then just make sure you're doing what you can in your little neck of the woods.
Hey, great message. 100%. And guys, listen, I'm not trying to argue or like make someone feel dumb or make them feel bad. What I'm telling you is I wish every person, not just black, every person needs to get a passport. You need to travel. You need to not just travel to tourist destinations. You
Right.
need to go down into the dirt, the mud, like I did when I was in Abu Dhabi. I went to the worker camps. I saw them damn Filipinos living out in the desert and stuff. Who would even thought that there were Filipinos in Dubai? There's thousands of them. But what I'm telling you is you got to understand the context in which things are happening. This man just said it's 50-50 split. There's half that country that wants the regime to fall. The other half doesn't want war, but they still probably want the regime to fall.
Right.
So do you think the United States doesn't have this intelligence? Anytime a country comes up to fight you, 9 times out of 10, there's a faction within that country that supports them. You'll learn that. If you look at war, you'll learn that. I got a quiz for all of you guys. How long, and we're going to put this in the context, but we're going to let Killer Cam speak. Listen, how long do you guys think it has been since a Middle Eastern country has even won a single battle against the Western Empire?
Bro,
I know you guys don't know. I'll give you the answer. 837 years they've been losing.
Wait, what about the Houthis though?
The Houthis ain't won no battles. They actually take many losses. They only kill innocent people from their own place. That's what they do. What I'm saying is, since Saladin won the Battle of Hattin 837 years ago. Hey, somebody, yeah. The Middle East has yet to win a single battle against any Western interest. That's all the way back to King Richard and all of them. So you guys are like, but they're gonna do it, and they don't got no rabbit that they about to pull out of the hat, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just hear me out for a sec.
I'm gonna hear you out.
All right, just think.
I know nothing you said gonna be based on logic or any information that you collected, but I'm gonna hear you out.
First and foremost, I just want to say, even though I disagree with everything you say, you're one of my favorite podcasters.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, cool. So, based on the subject matter, I just feel like, 7 crackheads hit the Pentagon, hit multiple things with 7 crackheads with butter knives. You know what I mean? So, like, this is a whole country, a quarter century later, and this is an entire country. So, I just want you to think about that, and then I also want you to think about their alliances, and I want you to think about their interest, and I want you to do your research on who've actually taken over their land before, which is Russia, which is now one of their allies. But Russia has, invaded Iran twice in the last 100 years. So they really can't trust Russia. The other Muslims around them, honestly, they're just sellouts because they're like, we don't want Iran to have a weapon either. So the honest truth is, you're right, Brandon. Nothing's gonna happen because there's snakes in the grass, and all the other Muslim countries don't want Iran to have a nuke. So, but yeah, that's the reason why we're protected.
What
interests.
people don't understand is there was this empire, the Ottoman Empire. It was ruled by the Ottoman Turks, and before there was anything such thing as the Middle East, the Arabs were a part of the Ottoman Empire. The Turks were the modern day Turkey. They were in a brotherly relationship with the Arabs, right? And the Turks. They considered each other to be brothers under the banner of Islam. Do you know how the Ottoman Empire fell? The Arabs betrayed the Turks. They turned on them to help white people, Britain, defeat the Ottoman Empire. So when you guys are like, well, Turkey this and all that history matters. That's why the Middle East is so fragmented, because it was born out of treacherous behavior against people that they considered to be brothers, and the Arabs have never forgot that. They betrayed the Turks, and now they don't trust each other because they know their own nature. Even if you look at the way their military is run, you know why they can't win any wars? You know why Israel was able to defeat like 8 Muslim countries in 6 days? Because the officers won't even tell the soldiers the battle plan before it's time to go into battle, because they're so afraid that one of the soldiers is going to turn on them. And the president don't give no information to the generals because he's afraid that the generals are going to launch a coup and take the country from them. They're just totally fragmented. So when you guys are like, they're going to do this, why do you think they have to resort to just terrorism, bro? Why do you think they couldn't do anything? You guys saw the Palestinians getting bombed in Gaza. You think they didn't help just because they couldn't? They didn't help because they don't give a damn about them Palestinians. They look at the Palestinians like all they do is cause trouble. If we let them come over here, they ain't going to do nothing but start a civil war like they did in Jordan. They ain't going to do nothing.
Hey, Brandon.
Go ahead.
Now you said, no, I just gotta say something. You said almost 1,000 years. You was like 800 some years, right?
837.
Hey, all right. So, what would you define the Algerian War of Independence?
Against who?
Okay, so they have to fight against. But see, that's where it gets tricky.
It's not because the middle.
Because it gets tricky when you consider the Middle East. Back then, from 54 to about, I would say from about like 1950 to 63 or something, to 1963, right? France was considered a major Western civilization that was doing a thing, and that independence had the Algerians as being quoted Middle Eastern. So I'm trying to figure out, 837 years. So I'm trying to figure out,
what battle did the Algerians?
Are we taking stuff out?
What I'm telling you is, people can win a revolution without winning a single battle. If you look at the Kikuyus when they fought the Kenyans when they fought the British, the Mau didn't win a single battle, but they still won their independence, because a lot of times, even though countries, Vietnam, the Viet Cong didn't win a single battle in Vietnam, but they still won.
What about the Suez Canal, though?
What about it?
What about the Suez Canal that led to other countries coming in to have to try to go ahead and, like, we go out of before they came in to help to stabilize that, they was getting beat though. So when you say 837 years,
but I'm
Are you
These are what I'm referring to as decisive military battles, where it's like
all right? All
war is
right, all right. You're
declared.
talking about just like
You're talking about
Lakers against
conflicts.
Lakers. You're talking about Lakers against like the Nets in the finals. You're talking about like decisive.
What I'm talking about is like NBA games versus pickup games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though
Yeah.
when the Lakers swept the Nets, when Jason Kidd when we swept them, you're talking about decisive, decisive victory.
Not even decisive. I'm saying legitimate battles where war was declared on both sides, not skirmishes between Western Empire and some guerrilla type combatants. Like, nah, I'm raising up an army, you raising up an army, we going at it. Even now, there hasn't been a formal declaration of war. If you really think about it, by either side. But militaristically speaking, they haven't won in any battle in any war since in 837 years. Now, Algeria, to me, and based on what I know, Algeria is North Africa. That ain't never been the Middle East.
All right, fair enough.
But I understand you're saying.
What about Hezbollah and Israel withdrawing from South Lebanon in 2000?
That was just a withdrawal, but Hezbollah was getting cooked.
Yo, let me get this off.
Go ahead, Killer Cam.
Thank you. I'm only here to make you think. I'm not here
Don't start with that shit.
to make a statement. No, just listen. Okay, so they think about it. Just think about it as a player or a pimp. We drop bombs on nuclear sites. Who's to say they didn't drop a fucking nuke? Just think for one fucking second. If you drop a bomb on a nuke, the nuke is gonna blow up too.
Why would you need a?
I'm out.
They're called bunker bombs for a reason.
Yeah, they said we did a 30,000-pound bunker bomb that we ain't never used that went and did.
If you
the
drop a
damage.
firecracker on a landmine, what's gonna happen? It's gonna set the landmine off, right? So who's to
Probably
say?
not.
Who's to
But
say
okay.
who dropped the firecracker? Who dropped the landmine?
That was the dumbest analogy
What
ever.
came first, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know.
Scott,
Dropping a
stop
firecracker on a landmine might heal. I can't go against that.
Guys, a landmine is
The
based
chicken
on
or the egg?
a landmine is based on pressure. A firecracker falling on a landmine is not going to make it go off, bro. Like,
You know what I'm
The explosion is not gonna make no pressure though. The explosion ain't gonna make no pressure.
No, bro. Like,
Brandon.
bro,
Come on,
listen,
man.
you guys do understand that when missiles are launched, right? Those warheads and stuff have to be armed. They're armed within like seconds of impact. They're not like, it's not a live missile flying up from one continent to another one. That's not how that works.
No, I know that. I know that. My uncle works for the defense system of the United States.
Did the nuclear facility blow up or not?
Why would they have armed nuclear bombs sitting there in the bunker? They'll basically nuke themselves.
Who's to say what they dropped?
You're dropping you're saying a bunch of
how do you know what they dropped?
Hey, listen, man. You're dropping a bunch of hypotheticals, asking a bunch of questions. That's not. I like some people may get off on that, but we have pretty much definite. There are people This is. Have you ever heard of the word cognitive bias? No, Killer Cam. I want you to. Have you ever
the
heard
video they put up, Brandon? Though it was like 4 stories. It's like 4 stories deep.
Have you ever heard of interpretation? It can be interpreted a billion different ways, Brandon.
Yeah, let me drop his ass down. The guys, these people are experts at war. They know what they're doing. They're scientists, all types of people.
What's up, Earl?
Just to make sure that they don't create like a nuclear fallout, radiation that sweeps the country and kills everyone and everyone around it. You can ask questions all day. You heard the guy saying, what came first, the chicken or the egg? We're just talking based on what we know. That's what a truly smart person does. Let's speak based on what we know so far. And as more information comes out, we will talk about it. Like my boy, Hot Facts. He's like, oh, but these wars and these battles, can you name any of those battles? Can you give me a time on any of those battles? Of course you can.
That's the thing, because when the years and what they, I don't know that the exact operational name, but they fought during those times.
Listen, let me ask you a question. When I say mine, right, I can give you the date and the name. right? The general who led one army, the general who led the other army. This is what I'm saying. Anybody could speculate on some shit. But guess what?
Well, the Suez Canal had Gamal Nasser.
But what was the battle called?
That was the Suez Crisis.
I want to know what the battle. See, it wasn't a battle. It wasn't within a war. It was a crisis.
But that was a crisis. That was a crisis to where somebody was getting served and somebody had to come in and do some shit.
But what did I say? I said, first of all, I said there was the West. What didn't the West win the battle? Yes.
They had to come back with all the extras, with all these other countries coming together.
But I'm trying to tell you, it wasn't a battle. And ultimately, the crisis or conflict was won by the West.
But that's my point there. All right. That's my point there. It took a bunch of other countries to come together to go ahead to get that done. That's why I said in the beginning, and I'm glad that this just happened, you can't underestimate, because we could see a collective that we don't know that's building up to try to do something against us. And that's my whole point there.
But now you're moving the goalpost because you were
I'm not moving it because it was already there way back then.
You were challenging.
We did it first.
You were challenging my assertion or my historical fact that no Middle Eastern country has won a battle against a Western interest in
837 years.
Right. So if there's a bunch of people at the Suez Canal and say there's an attack, right, that no one expected, boom, they hit them. That's not a battle. That's someone who launched an attack on somebody.
The United States and the Soviet Union have to come to save the day.
You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. You're conflating two different things. I'm talking about a battle where two sides agreed to fight and then they went at it. You're talking about something where a bunch of criminals or terrorists tried to attack a transport hub, a shipping hub, and then the military of two other countries had to come in and get rid of them.
No. Let me clarify this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this, that on certain times, way after 837 years is a long ass time. I'm just saying that we have examples that could be put in place to bring up the argument with you that we are having right now. That's what I'm saying.
But I don't see how that's an example when, one, it wasn't a battle, two, the Western interest still won.
Yeah. Brandon has a point on that one.
It's the reach. It's a hell of a reach.
No. Well, see, and this is what crazy, because the Middle East, going back through time, through biblical and everything, it shifts. It's not one stable place to where it is. It's like things happen, they take over, and then it shifts. So then we have something that we can say is the Middle East with the Suez Canal there, to where it had to take for superpowers to try to come in to make somebody else, back down. But to me, if you holding your own, all right, let's put it like this, because some people just may not understand what I'm talking about. Let's put it like this.
I don't even think you understand what I'm talking about, but keep going.
No, let's put it like this in gang terms. You can be a small gang and hold off a whole big old thing to where it takes other gangs to come in to wipe y'all out because you got a strong hold, like the 300. They just said we gonna just hold off this little cut because can't nobody mess with us right here. You have to bring everything they got.
But y'all was serving to defeat them, though.
But listen, what you got? I'm looking it up now. The Suez Crisis was a battle that was fought between Arabs and Israel. So
okay, now is Israel not consistent?
I need you to listen. I need you to listen.
All right, I got you.
Understand? Listen.
Go ahead.
So the Israelis got whooped up, or they had a hard time dealing with the Arabs. Israel is not in the West. So even if the Arabs did beat the Israelis, that still wouldn't be a decisive victory over the West. Do you understand?
Man, we We use a
Israel is
lot of the
backed by the
Israeli
West.
You're
tank.
not
We
trying.
use a lot of the
You're
Israeli
not.
tanks and
You're not in
everything.
a. You're not in a mindset of honesty right now. What I'm doing? I'm introducing a undeniable fact to you, and instead of saying you're right, that's not in the West. You're trying to now move the goalpost to, oh well, if the West gave them weapons, well that technically no, bro. I said no Arab country
Did
has
we work with
won.
Israel right now?
I
Did we
said
work with Israel right
I
now?
said no Arab country has won a victory in battle over a Western interest in 837 years. You brought up a conflict that was between Arab nations and Israel. Unless we take Israel, pick that country up and move it over to the North American continent, you are wrong. I'm still right.
I
My point.
also brought out. I also brought out leaving from South Lebanon in 2000.
But that's still not a Western country.
Oh, all right, all right. All right,
I didn't
right,
say they never beat Israel. I said they never
all
want to
right,
beat a
all right,
Western nation.
all right,
I'm just saying.
all
Go
right.
ahead, Earl. What up, Big Earl?
What's happening,
Big Earl,
Rob?
what's up? What's up,
Rob
Big
and
Earl?
Buck. Tuck, how y'all doing,
What?
fellas?
Hey, Earl,
Hey,
look, we cooking just like Cabrillo days.
hey,
Yeah,
bruh.
what's up, Earl?
How y'all fellas doing today, man? I see y'all arguing about the Middle East, fellas. Like, look, everybody knows Iran is backed by the Western Front, right or wrong.
I would say that a lot of their money comes from the West because we buy oil from them.
Yeah, the money, yes, Earl, the money.
Okay, now, with the money, we don't like nobody messing with our money. Americans, for sure. You touch our money, you gotta go. And that's just the truth about it. Right or wrong.
That's the truth, of course.
That's fair. Yep.
So
You messing up
That's
the
all.
bag, you gotta go.
now,
Yeah.
if you're gonna go ahead and do that, how you gonna say them supporting and giving out weapons isn't helping out?
I never said that.
Yeah, I ain't saying that, Earl. My whole thing was I had to give him some pushback over 837 years. I just had to give him pushback over that because I'm just like, damn, nigga, it's been fighting for a long time. It's been
No,
fighting for a long time,
but it's been a religious war,
right?
Yeah,
right or wrong.
Right?
yeah. I believe it's a political war that's being masquerading as a religious war.
I
It's a
think it's
little bit
been a
of both.
political war since like
Because if you're in
colonial
a
times.
listen, how can you be in a listen? The Ayatollah takes United States money, but is in a religious, a spiritual war with them. Like, how are you in a war with them, but you selling them oil, selling them 1 million barrels of oil a year? Like that to me, like God ain't that dumb. You at war with him,
I
but you
think
over
Ayatollah
profiteering.
crazy as fuck. That's
He
what I
been
think. I think
crazy.
Ayatollah crazy as fuck. So,
He
I
been
don't
crazy.
disagree there. He crazy as fuck. So,
What you think,
The
Earl?
whole, the whole thing is an evil situation if we're gonna keep it that way. Because see, at the end of the day, everybody chasing money.
Of course.
Somebody got something that the US, Europe, and whoever else they linked up with won't. And we gonna do whatever it takes to get it.
I mean, hey, listen, I wouldn't doubt that. There's a whole island over near Iran where they do all like their oil processing and shipping and all that. Israel did not touch that island at all. They didn't drop one bomb even close to it. And if they would have just dropped that bomb, boom, it would have economically decapitated or castrated Iran. So that's what I'm saying. Like the United States and Israel are making precision strikes for a specific reason.
Right,
Like
because they
no, I'm
planning on
not saying
claiming
they
that
ain't
at
doing
least.
that.
They planning on claiming that. Whenever it is war or skirmish or whatever this is, they claiming that.
no, I believe it too. I believe that this could very well be Israel and the United States trying to open up the Iranian market. Like, we want to go in there, depose your leadership. Now we in there selling y'all iPhones. You know what I'm saying? Now we
How you think the Saudis feel about this? How you think the Saudis feel about
the,
this?
the
Saudis
Saudis
are
are on the
allies.
side of America in Israel.
Saudis are allies.
No, but
Saudi,
what I'm
Jordan,
saying is, the Saudis can make a move, right?
They're not going to.
Saudi is rich. They're rich, bro. They what make a move
We
for
buy
what?
their oil. Don't we buy most of their oil?
Yeah.
This is about oil control. Truthfully, who they gonna pay? Because we just spreading our money around buying oil from the Middle East. If we got the bigger guns, give it to one country. We just gonna give it to one country.
And let me tell you this cold thing. If we overthrow the regime in Iran, Iran is the #1 oil supplier of China. So we would basically be in control of China's energy supply. These niggas are smart, bro.
Right?
They know what they're doing.
It's a plot. It's a plot
Hey,
and a plan to control
Which
shit.
would, yeah,
doesn't Russia
because
buy from
China
China as
owns
well?
half our land.
No.
That too.
China does not
That
own
too.
half the United States.
Man, come to
As
Irvine right now. Come to Irvine
America
right
been
now. Where I
selling.
am right now. It is
They own a lot of
China
farmland.
and
though.
Korea right now.
You named one city. China.
No. But I can name a whole. It's all okay. Irvine, going to Costa Mesa,
Garden Grove.
going to Newport, going to San Rancho Santa Margarita, going to Lake Forest, going to the Foothill Ranch area. All that shit is Asian. I just got done doing a live stream driving all through it.
Don't nobody own
They own a
more
lot of
land
farmland in middle
than
America.
white people in Orange County by far.
Nah, I'm telling you, the Asians. I'm telling you, I'm out here right now.
I work in
Brandon.
Orange County.
I'm out here right now.
I work in Orange County. I know. But when you
where you work at? What's this city?
I work all over. I work in Mission Viejo, Rancho Santa Margarita.
I was in Mission Viejo today too. Yeah. I was in Viejo. Yeah.
If you go deep down in there, Rancho Santa Margarita, Coto de Caza, Newport Harbor, white people own all that. You won't even see Asians that much. A few. Then white folks they got a lock on that shit. Asians own a lot over there, but white people own the majority.
How important is Irvine, though? How important is Irvine?
Of very little importance. No one gives a shit about
Irvine.
my
goodness.
Nothing goes on in Irvine.
Irvine got sick.
Bro,
Irvine's part of the valley and the Silicon Valley near, bro.
Everything at Irvine closed at 3:00 in the afternoon. They ain't doing shit over there.
Man, I'm here every look, man. Look. I ain't gonna go into all that. Earl, you already know. I'm just saying though, it's all Asian out here. And it's Asian and European folk. Because China is running all. China owns. Look, the Irvine company may have the complexes, but the Chinese have put all their businesses and everything here. Everything.
Listen,
Can I ask a question?
Let my boy Remo go real quick. Go ahead, Remo.
This Remo from No Jumper?
No. Remo, unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, unmute. G, unmute. You all good,
Remo,
G? You all good?
You're muted. Go ahead, Remo. You're good.
No. I was just going to ask you if you ever read that book, Unrestricted Warfare.
No.
From China.
I never read it.
Okay, well, it's a book, and it kind of outlines the way that they would take over America through ideology and through like colleges and shit. Like they wouldn't have to fire a shot, but it would be through education, and they would
UCI,
change the perspective.
All them schools, Vanguard.
Exactly.
Yes,
it's happening right now. Like we can see it happening. And that book was written like in the 80s and shit, so it's just interesting, you know.
Right. No, yeah. But like the funny thing is, there was a video of a Chinese lady where she was saying China, like, they train their children to like a certain way, and they like literally, she was like in some Chinese intelligence thing, and she was like, they literally want to take over America through ideology. But guess what? College enrollment is down. Americans are like, damn, college, we're going to get a trade. So I feel like it's very hard to take over America with ideology because Americans want to do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. And that's not how China's run. The minute you try to institute some type of like control over Americans, they start tripping. That's why you've seen certain, that's why you see so, like, I'll give you a prime example with the stuff with the transgender kids, right? Bro, 5 years ago, Americans was going at Africans for female genital mutilation. 5 years later, or 10 years later, Americans are literally preaching for our kids to be able to mutilate their genitals legally. See what I'm saying? Americans are like, we're trendy. We're trendy. We get on the trend for a little bit.
Dynamic.
We move too, like, right. Our sentiment changes way too fast. Chinese people, their stuff is like, they're not really innovative at all. So like they'll deal with these long periods of time where they'll be under like a certain way of thinking, a certain like regime or a certain like culture. And then like China changed their culture every 1,000 years. America changes culture every damn 20 days. Like it's always something new. So it's going to be very hard for what I believe is a less socially advanced or a less socially nuanced country to overtake a extremely socially nuanced country. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
All right. Well, let me bring this to the panel here. Let me ask this. Let's get back to the Middle East now. Let's get back to the Middle East.
Thank you for hosting my show. Go ahead.
No. I just have to, you know what I'm saying, just bring it. Sorry, Brandon. Sorry.
Oh, you good. Go ahead. You good.
How long do you think it's going to take before we go take something else down?
Could be tomorrow.
It really depends.
There has to be an unconditional surrender from Iran within the next few days. I believe if they don't announce a surrender today or tomorrow or like some point this week, Trump is going to let the Israelis go crazy on them. Go ahead, Earl.
Well, with you saying that now, and changing my thought process a little bit, but it really just depends on what we need. Like you said, that island full of oil, that's safe. But that's going to go to the victor for sure.
Oh, of course.
So it really depends on what the next most needed natural resource is. And that'll be the next time America goes to go try to take something else.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Somebody said Trump ain't been in 6 months, but he started a war. Like this ain't the carryover from the shit that Biden started in Gaza. Come on now. That literally set the stage. Like I see now I'm starting to believe Biden did that shit on purpose just to set up this moment. I believe this situation was going to happen no matter what. But what I also believe is the same people who were screaming they wanted Israel to stop bombing Gaza, they now that Israel's like, let's go mess with Iran. People are trying to stick up for Iran when Iran is really just not there's no angle to defend Iran. Iran's been doing shit for decades that they know they shouldn't have done. Like, bro, you're throwing women off of rooftops. Like, it's just a crazy place. And even when I called my boy was like, nah, like 50% of the people in the country, he's Iranian. He like 50% want that regime gone. And then like the other 50%, they just don't want war, but they also want the regime gone. So Iran's leadership really doesn't have a safe haven. They don't have a group of people that they can say, well, okay, at least they support us. Really, it's like they're ruling through like coercion and force, and people are scared. But they were interviewing this lady who was in Iran for 20 years. She lived in Iran for 20 years. She was like, man, people are ready to rise up because they in 2022 they had an uprising and they killed 1,500 people. Did you ever know about that?
Yeah, it's super unstable over there.
Yeah. So the people raise up against the government in protest. The government just slaughter a couple thousand of them, and then everybody gets scared and go back home. Like,
Well, what get
Right,
back you
'cause
think
a
they
few
gonna
years
get on
ago,
us since
Twitter
they
was
can't hit us here? What get back? What
terrorists,
base? You know we
terrorists
got
attack.
bases around. What base you think they gonna hit?
Listen,
That we are.
I don't think they're going to attack any American bases because that just gives America more justification to go in there and take more shit. You think America would love to get over there and get to that oil for
No,
20,
America
30 years?
loves to blow shit up. America
right.
loves to blow shit up. I'm an American. We
Uh,
love to
um,
blow shit up.
We're all Americans,
So
and America didn't blow up shit in Afghanistan. They was over there getting them minerals up out of that bitch, getting them poppy seeds up out of that joint.
We was,
America,
but we did drop a few bombs at the same time. It wasn't nothing
yeah, we
major.
were dropping bombs and making sure we wasn't hitting to where we can do
right?
the taking out, but we were still dropping some shit.
Strategic strikes. Same thing they did in Iraq in Desert
But you
Storm
just
2.
said they wasn't dropping nothing. Now, if
I
you
didn't
just
say they
said,
wasn't dropping nothing. I didn't say that.
all right, go ahead,
Wait,
Tuck.
You said that, Brandon.
what
You
did I
said
say?
that. You said
Wait, what did I
you
say? Tell
said
me what I said.
you said that we're not bombing nothing. Not we didn't. You said we're not bombing nothing,
I
but
said we're not
we
bombing.
bomb things. We bomb things in other areas while we are letting them go ahead and do their thing, but we are still dropping shit in certain areas.
I said that in the beginning. Strategic bombings. I said that. I said they're dropping like the bunker busting bomb. America's dropping missiles through windows, bro. People's like bedroom window. Y'all don't remember that? We was doing that in Desert Storm 2. Remember I think they killed one of Saddam Hussein's
Smart
sons.
bombs.
Yeah, they shot a fucking missile through the window of the palace and killed Saddam Hussein's whole family. What you mean? Like, we ain't just over there indiscriminately bombing shit. We're not
No,
doing
we
that.
don't indiscriminately bomb. I understand that. But what I'm saying is,
And I was talking about
you said,
Obama, by
Edward,
the way.
you meant Obama didn't bomb nothing. Yeah, look, Obama was out there trying to make money.
Obama bombed so much that the United States ran out of bombs. He dropped over 29,000 bombs on people. He was
Obama did drop some bombs, Earl, and he signed over a lot of shit that killed a lot of people. I'm gonna just keep that quiet right now. I'm gonna keep that quiet, but yeah.
Obama was so cold. Obama was hitting niggas with the drones. Obama had the drones. No, Obama had the drones that had the mirrors on the bottom of them to where when you look up in the sky, you couldn't even see it. It looked like you looking at the sky, and they dropping freaking bombs on your ass from that drone.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hey,
I remember that. So I'm not saying Obama didn't drop no bombs, because we was still over there his whole 8 years. We didn't get out of there until his last year in office.
Shit, we was still over there when he left.
We were still over there. We weren't even we weren't even out yet. We were still over there too. We was over there too long. That's what I was saying earlier. How they do war with us is different.
Wait, Frank White. Frank White comments anything to justify how Trump is a liar. What did Trump lie about? I don't understand this. Like,
I'm not.
Yes, hey, some of these dudes that be doing comments got to do all 150 characters, dude, just so we can know all the way.
Because I promise you, I can't back Trump on half the shit he doing right now, making shit hard for the normal motherfucker.
I mean, I don't know. I like Trump, but Remo, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say it's some buying opportunities right now with Trump.
It's a buyer's market for sure.
So,
it's always that in America.
Shit.
Nah, it really ain't.
Now when eggs was $10, it wasn't.
Nah, hell no.
Now, see, I do sales for a living. I do sales for a living. Earl, you already know I do sales. So whenever it comes to sales and corporate sales and everything, and you trying to get your own business in, that's what Trump has in place for people to go ahead and make deals to go ahead to just, it's like Shark Tank.
So as a
It's like
person in
Shark Tank.
so as a person in sales, because sales is the sales in real estate. Well, real estate is sales technically. Those are the fastest creators of millionaires of any profession. If you're in sales,
ABC, always be closing. ABC.
exactly.
Yes.
So as a salesperson, and now I understand why you live in Irvine. Uh, what would you say? Would you say Trump was better for the sales or Biden?
Well, let me tell you this. I don't care who was in there. I'm closing everything because I just moved from Mobile to where it's cheaper to get you something. And then my kids is older. I got a kid. My son Dylan is top 50 in the state in basketball. Sophomore. My son Cameron has been a sponsored gamer. He just graduated from Woodbridge 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I put them into a position to where they can get some education and learn how they can maximize on the thing going on. So
So who would you
I
say is
look
better
at
for sales, Dad?
that's a tough one because it depends on where you end up working for or who gives you the leverage to do your own thing. You know what
Who
I'm
would you say
saying?
who would you say gives you more leverage? Would you say that Trump in his limited time, have you seen sales increase or have you seen sales diminish, like go lower?
I would say for someone who don't have nothing and then they start their own thing, Trump would be the person for you because you would be able to understand how to go ahead and you'll get money faster, and then you can learn as you go. Go ahead and do this. You know what I mean? And but if you already know some things, somebody else already there, all you trying to do is just break off a little couple pieces. You know what I'm saying? If you brand new, Trump is the man. He gonna show you. He showed you how to go bankrupt 8 million times and still be the richest man. He
Hey,
showed you that.
hey, let me read this real quick. I love these kind of comments. It's crazy to support an ideology of white America, aka Israel first, as a black American. I could never. Is that to make you feel safe? When Iran chants death
Ooh.
to America, are they like death to
Ugh.
only white America? When the twin towers were destroyed, let's pretend for a minute it wasn't an inside job. When those terrorists were hijacking those planes, do you think they were like, yeah, save all the black ones, we brought parachutes for them? When they crashed the plane into the building, did they say, wait, quick, get all the black people out? You're an idiot if you are so dumb to think that if your country goes to war, you're going to be spared because you're black. Did the Germans say, hey, don't shoot those black dudes, only shoot the white guys? You're an
I
idiot.
have problems whenever I see questions like that
You're an
because
idiot.
it takes me to how deep are you willing to go? Are you willing to go to where that before blacks were here, to where slaves we were already here? Or how far and deep do you want to go
Let's
to
let's
where
go, let's
you
let, look,
start making comments like
let's go
that?
this deep. Let's go this deep. If I'm a coon, your mama a coon, your granddaddy a coon, your great granddaddy is a coon. You know why? Because the same niggas that got beat when it was time to fight in the Civil War, they jumped up and picked up arms right next to slave owners to fight for the Union. Because you do know that there were slave owners who fought for the Union, right? You do know that
Yeah,
Ulysses.
Abraham
You do know.
Lincoln had slaves. The motherfuckers had slaves.
You
It
do
was
know
a
that
business. It was a business decision.
You do know that Ulysses S. Grant, the greatest Civil War general,
Ooh,
you do know
good
his
name.
family owned a gang of slaves, right? You
A
do
bunch
know
of them.
that. He
A bunch of
literally
them.
killed slave owners while his family was owning a gang of slaves. So who's the coon? Who I could never. So slaves fought shoulder to shoulder with slave owners willingly. Now you could say, well, they fought for their freedom. And so am I, because I don't want to get ruled by the People's Republic of China. I don't want to get ruled by the Ayatollah Khomeini, Ali Khomeini. See, that's the difference. You're not looking at the situation objectively. You're looking at the situation emotionally. If somebody's stealing your damn wallet and a white man come up to whoop on him to stop him, you ain't gonna be like, no, that's okay. Don't help me because you's a white man. You know, like, thank you, shit.
He got to understand that in Africa, some of the most like it's nations in the Middle East who know that in Africa, some of those Islamic people they take it to they take it all the way there. We ain't even there, and they doing it to our own black people. So you know what I mean? You just can't say shit. You just can't. I don't want to call nobody a name, but
my question is, if I'm a coon, our granddaddies and grandmamas is coons too, because when the Jews when the Jews were first brought to America, who were the coons who let them right up in our neighborhood and welcomed them in with open arms to buy up all our businesses? Black people did that. Jewish people went straight to black neighborhoods.
Yeah, but Steve, my thing about that is because you got to look back at how it was back then when a tribe takes over another tribe. That's how they get dominant. Now that tribe has to fight with their tribe. They're going to bring the best warriors to fight with their armies, and then all the sissies, the sissy fights, and all them other, the PDFs and them, they finna sell them. So once they start saying we can give you this, you got some money, we give you a gun, they will go do that automatically. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit different. We was already trading people with each other because that's how it was when you conquered.
They already know that. They listen. This person said, "Why you talking about the ancestors, bro?" Ain't listened to a word I said. Just felt only targeted the part that could draw them out emotionally. Didn't listen. I said, if I'm a coon, literally, you're literally like in 2025 to dare call somebody a coon, bro, you're calling your whole lineage coons, because guaranteed there was some high level cooning going on back in the day in y'all bloodline, but people were doing what they had to do to survive. I don't really care one way or another one about Israel. What I know is Iran sponsors terrorists. Terrorists want to come into America and hurt American people. If we got to keep them broke and take their nuclear weapons away, the world is safer. I live in the world, therefore I want to be safe. My kids live in the world, therefore I want to be safe. You guys could sell yourself or convince yourself of whatever lie you want to convince yourself. Me, I'm just being honest, bro. I'm not trying to get blown up this week. I'm not trying to see Iran with nuclear anything. Iran has been talking mad smack on X. Thank you, Wow, for the $1.99. Sticks and Stones, LA. Brandon with the exclusives. You can't get this from anyone else. Bro made the call. Facts, bro. You know I got to come with the receipts in the documentation. JC, my brother. It's been too long, my brother. The United States of Israel just attacked Iran. 2% Jews of the world, 2% of the world population is creating so much chaos. AIPAC controls the U.S. Congress. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. You can control it too if you gave some money. What's funny about black people is we don't want to invest nothing in political anything. We don't donate anything to our politicians, nothing, but get mad because someone else does. If you want to be like them or better than them, do what they do. Nope. You get your tax money. Do you say, what?
A lot of black people think that they go lose their money. You know what I mean? Like me, myself, I donate to Chalk Hospital. My son, who passed away, had 6 of his 7 open heart surgeries there, in the hands of the best doctors there and everything else. The Ronald McDonald's house, I'll go ahead and send the money in there, do things like that. I'll put money into where I know it's going to help.
Slow down, because we have the ability to conveniently miss shit that actually matters. Not to bring up a sensitive issue. Your son had a heart issue. CHOP, Children's Hospital of Orange County, obviously CHOP, they performed open heart surgery on him 6 times. And I know they work with people as far as financially, because everybody can't afford that stuff. It's super expensive.
CCS. He had CCS to where I did not, and I did not have to pay for any of the surgeries, and the doctor who did his surgery, Dr. Gates, he invented the truncus arteriosus surgery. So he was in the hands of the dude who invented the surgery.
So
Yeah,
so
and
so let me
yeah,
get this straight. So the racists, right? The racists. Your son was sick. Now we know heart stuff is very expensive. The average person, black, white, or green, cannot afford that stuff. It's too expensive. So they
not
created a
even close.
situation. They created a resource to where your son could receive 6 open heart surgeries and you didn't have to pay a dime. But the people who wouldn't give a quarter to your son, they wouldn't give a penny to help you. If you
Oh,
out there
that's
begging,
why.
they're
That's
calling
why I
people
don't like real
racist.
niggas. I don't like real niggas. I like niggas that understand life. I don't like niggas. I don't like them. Because when look, we raise money and stuff too because we was like, oh, we got to go ahead and pay all this stuff. Not only did he have 6 open heart surgeries there, he had 7 heart catheterizations to where they got to go in through the leg and go do all this stuff and everything that they have. Man, and let's get into this sales thing. Me at that time, Brandon, personal trainer, hands trainer at Brazilian Top Team for targeting mitts and everything else for my fighters and my kickboxers and everything,
You were out
right?
there with Perdomo?
So I was out there with Bryce over there off of El Camino,
okay.
and Tustin. Yeah,
DTP Orange
and
County. Okay, yeah. I thought you meant
in
Long
Orange
Beach.
County. So no, well, I stayed on. I'm from Paramount originally. My family was the first black family to be inducted into Linwood High School. My mama from Linwood, my dad from Compton. I'm from Paramount originally. You know what I'm saying? My house was cocktail bombed and shot up. So when my mom got her settlement for me in the accident, that's when we moved to Orange County. You
Smart.
know what I'm saying?
Let me read this
But
real
we was
quick.
in the
Let me
go
read this
ahead.
real quick. Oh, wow. My daughter has CCS, and Dr. Gates was her surgeon as well. My daughter had 3 surgeries, but she's good now. Do you see? These are people who are like, I love what you said. You don't like real niggas. You like people who understand life, how life works. I got people in the comments talking about, I'm out. It's good to know you support Israel. Let me tell you something. I got a story just like yours. I had hurt my leg doing jujitsu. I had tore part of my quad, right? I went to the doctor, got the MRI, all this stuff. They were like, look, we're going to do surgery. Your copay is going to be some astronomical number, right? I'm like, all right. They're like, but you could apply for this additional insurance. You can get finances, all this shit, right? Okay. A nurse told me, she said, look, go over to Cedar Sinai Hospital, out there in Beverly Hills. Go to Cedar
Yeah,
Sinai
my
Hospital.
uncle worked there.
She said they have a program over there for people who can't afford their surgeries. Go over there. They had a program, bro, where they will give you orthopedic surgery for free. Like, it's just for people who just can't afford it. I went in, I saw the doctor who was the orthopedic surgeon for the Lakers, Robert Clapper. He has a show on ESPN.
Clapper. No, I
Yeah,
know who he is.
Clapper Vision.
Yes,
Hell
Clapper.
yeah.
Yeah. That guy, he used to be the orthopedic surgeon for the Lakers, worked on Kobe and everybody else. He looked at my leg. We got some MRI done, all that stuff. He looked at my leg. He said, you don't need surgery. He said some of the fibers tore, but the majority of the fibers are still intact. He said, and he was like, if you did surgery, you would probably be worse off than if you just healed this naturally. So
Mr.
he said,
Clapper big on natural health.
right. So he put me sent me to the Howard Hughes Center right there. I don't know if that's Inglewood
Howard Hughes. Yeah, boy.
Howard Hughes Center, right off the 405. I went and saw the lady who used to work on Kobe and all the Lakers. Actually, our boy, I don't know if you remember Ruff, who went to Compton. You remember Ruff?
Rough.
Jeremy.
Yeah. I remember Jeremy.
Okay. So she was actually his physical therapist. Went in there, she got me right, bro. I was running. I went from being like, couldn't even walk without it burning like fire in my leg giving out. 2 months later, I was running, bro. Good. 100% good. Did a tournament. Thought I was going to miss my tournament. Thought my year was done for jiu-jitsu. I did that tournament, all that. And I think I won that tournament, as a matter of fact. But what I'm saying is, like, Cedar Sinai is owned and run by Jewish people. So, like,
Yeah, a lot of people got to understand, like, you know, I had to stay in a Ronald McDonald's house when my son was first born for like 3 months straight. I had to go to the one in LA when we had to go get his ventricle done and stuff like that. And, you know, I donate to St. Joseph's Wounded Warrior Project. I didn't raise money for charities, being a professional fundraiser and stuff. I understand how to go get that money from people who really want to help. A lot of y'all niggas out there, y'all may not like what I'm about to say right now. If I can be frank right now, Brandon,
go ahead, be frank.
Fuck y'all niggas, because y'all don't understand nothing about anything. You only understand about what somebody is telling you. You don't go ahead to do your own case study to figure out what you want to say out your own mouth, and then you want to get up in certain platforms and then talking shit in chats. Now, my whole thing with Brandon earlier, it wasn't about everything else. It was only about the 837 years. That's the only thing.
But
that was you know
listen to this. But listen, I'll tell you what they do understand. They understand Section 8. They understand Housing Authority. They understand EBT. Well, why don't you stop taking that from the white man?
Well, most of these niggas can't even go in the house because they can't go in the house because that's what they put in to keep the niggas out.
Man, listen.
You can't even.
Exactly.
You know what?
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But what I'm saying, yeah, I know what you mean. They put Section 8 in housing so people aim low purposely, don't want to be successful purposely because they don't want to lose that cheap rent. So they never aspire to have nothing better or bigger. What I'm telling you is this: the world is very nuanced. There's a lot more context to the world than a lot of African American people care to concern themselves with. I don't give a damn. When my leg was messed up and them Jewish people took me up in there, listen, I had a homegirl who was a surrogate mother, bro, for a family. They did everything at Cedar Sinai, bro. I've never met more nice, respectful, caring nurses, you know what I'm saying, who really care about you, how you feel, if you're recovering well. I mean, is your pillows comfortable? Like, bro, you can't say, look, if someone treats you good, someone who treats you like crap can't never really tell you nothing about the person treating you good. That's just the way it go. So, hey, guess what? Y'all want to hate on the Jewish people and all this stuff? You can't. That's why I don't trip off people even when they interracially married.
Right.
Hey, look, if you find the right woman for you, I ain't gonna tell you go be with some Jezebel hoochie from the projects just to keep it down for the race. Like, no, if that's the person who treats you right, stick with that person. Because
Brandon, you cold for that. You know you cold for that because my wife is as you see, I got the hat on, the Mexico hat, right? So my wife is Mexican, Peruvian, and Italian, right? So my father-in-law is from Peru, and he's half Italian. My mother-in-law is from Zacatecas, Mexico. All right, they're immigrants. So my wife is the daughter of an immigrant who had to be here with their parents for almost 25 years before they became legal and everything else there. So my kids are grandkids, first generation grandkids of the shit going on. I got videos of the protests, me being down there and doing this shit. So I thought you was gonna notice my red, white, and green up here and say something to me when you ain't did that yet, because I didn't see
y'all been arguing about the Middle East. He ain't worried about that on the top of your head right now. I've been seeing it.
I saw it, but I was just like, maybe, bro, like, you know, I don't know what that was, but look, I don't give a damn. Look, if your kids are legal, your wife is legal because she married to you, it's good. Like, I'm happy for
No, she legal. She born. Her parents have to go.
You ain't paying attention.
Yeah. Look, her parents lived here and had to be illegal for a long time while going through the process. They have to go through the consulates. And they're legal and everything. Look, they legal and everything. But the craziest thing is, though,
But
My
Trump's still
father-in-law worked
grabbing
for
legals.
my father-in-law
Hell
worked
no.
for one of the most
Bruh,
prestigious money makers in America, and he's in a higher position and has been there for 30-something years.
Listen,
So I'll be looking at people like, damn,
people with
y'all talking about my fam.
no, there's a difference between some people went through the process and became legal, whether they came first illegal and got legal. There's a difference. They're American citizens. They're working hard.
Can you separate that for people that may be watching from no jumper? Can you separate that to people that may have to come in and do what they have to do?
Now, if this was 30 years ago or whatever, I would have been like, yo, parents or father-in-law need to get his ass deported. But he did what he got. He made it. He got that citizenship. Now that's different for some illegal criminal aliens
right.
who
But
are
now
here
see,
coming
right.
across.
But now
Yeah.
this the real problem. Just because ICE going out to warehouses and
Dodger games.
just grabbing Mexicans. That's where the problem lies.
I mean,
That's where the true problem lies.
I don't believe the ICE was just at Dodger games.
They not, but
no,
I'm
the
talking
Dodgers
about
have to shut them down.
warehouses.
What you got? What
The
you got?
Dodgers shut ICE down.
They kicked them out of their parking lot because they tried to use their parking lot as a
staging.
as a hub
for staging something.
Are they going to be going to the World Cup?
Listen, at the end of the day, bro, however ICE got to do it to get the illegals out, go ahead. God bless them. It's much like this bomb thing. Let me read this. My issue is with Netanyahu. We shouldn't get involved in this. We all know what happened when Pandora's box was open last time. My question to you, Liz, is this. So you're saying we should just allow Iran to enrich uranium and develop a nuclear weapon, a terrorist regime who literally has proven that they're willing to do terror attacks and fund terror attacks. So you literally are cool with them getting the nuclear weapon, a nuclear weapon. That's my question to everyone. Like, so let's go your way. Let's go this like, no, don't do anything. So when Iran gets a weapon and they launch a nuclear attack or they start doing terrorist attacks and can't nobody do nothing to them because they got mutually shared destruction, mutual destruction, then what? That's what I don't get. Like, I don't care.
They got to understand that
weren't we over there looking for that stuff already? Weren't we in high school when they was looking for that shit already?
No, that was in Iraq. That was weapons of
mass destruction. That was Iraq.
And there was
Earl, you got to understand this. You got to understand this. These people got to understand this. Iran was all right. They the big backs.
Hey, I know. I got one question.
Big backs.
Now that I think about something, weren't we talking about back in high school how Iraq or Iran was moving shit back and forth? Wasn't that something that was brought up while we was in high school?
That was something that they were speculating, but the weapons of mass destruction stuff in Iraq was total bullshit. They didn't
right.
No, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Iran always
they've been moving, they were moving shit back and forth. They've been moving shit back and forth. Right? So if that's the case, this is shit that's going back to Bush.
I mean, and they very well could have been moving weapons across borders. I don't know how they would do that, but the whole thing is we have proof 100% that Iran was enriching uranium. When the UN inspectors wanted to go in to make sure they weren't enriching it to the point where it could be used as a nuclear weapon,
they block them out.
They refused to let the inspectors in. At that point, you're gonna get what
they block them out. But this is what a lot of people, Brandon, a lot of people got to understand this though, that Iran is coming in as the silverback gorillas of the Middle East. So if nothing happens to Iran, they're going to go ahead and punk all the other, and then gain all that territory and then start underground and shit and putting shit up to where the U.S. is like, we ain't going to allow that to happen. The U.S. don't allow that to happen. So bombing and taking care of shit is what the U.S. did. That's what the U.S. did.
I want to read this. What happened to America first? What happened to ending forever wars? But this is not a forever war. Like, he ended Afghanistan is over. He negotiated the deal to get out of Afghanistan, which was a 20-year conflict. Now, so that's like saying I care about the caterpillars, or I care about animals, so I'm gonna let roaches like infest my house. Come on now, like Trump did strategic bombings. He did not start a war. He didn't do none of that. He bombed nuclear facilities. He didn't bomb villages. He didn't bomb apartment buildings. He didn't bomb political apparatus or anything like that. He literally hit nuclear enrichment facilities that were buried deep underground, 3 of them. How is that a
But he
war?
also said they're going to have a press conference tomorrow, and you're going to hear from the people that was more involved than him. So go ahead and answer questions.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to.
He okayed this shit.
I'm still trying to understand how bombing 3 nuclear uranium enrichment facilities is someone going to war, especially when you warned them, if you guys keep doing this, we're going to bomb those facilities. Like, that's not an act of war. That's an act of that's basically you making good on, you're holding them
That's the
accountable.
act of big bully shit.
Nah, that's not bullying, because a bully don't, for one, a bully is taking something from you that is not theirs. But
Are
when
we not
you,
planning to?
I don't know. We have
All
to wait
right.
and see. We have to wait
All
and
right.
see. Yeah, but we're already buying a bunch of oil from Iran, though. Like, and we'll continue to buy it.
Right,
from them.
right. But see, at the end of the day is, do we want to continue buying it, or do we just want to own it? And we got the biggest and baddest guns, bombs, and all that good shit.
I think the United States lets those countries sell the oil to keep their economy stable. I think the United States, especially Trump, is more
That would be the
concerned
smartest thing to do.
Yeah, of course. The United States under Trump is more concerned about keeping the globe economically stable so everybody can make money. And I'm
We got to
telling
bring
you,
our dollar back. You know what I'm saying? Our dollar has fallen to where, you know what I'm saying, it's other places to where the dollar is more. So he wants to bring that
The
back.
Brinks,
And by having more companies or countries thrive, I said companies because that's how he thinks about it. He's like the biggest CEO of the world. He wants to make these companies or these individual franchises rise and bring in more money that can come into everybody else. That's what Trump wants to do.
I'm trying to figure out, like, there's people in the comments like, oh, Brandon's talking crazy. Guys, simple answer. Do you want Iran to have the ability to enrich uranium? That should be an easy no.
That should be the only question right now, because they've been ducking and dodging the UN for so long, saying you can't come in and do this and do that. You got to start thinking, why would they say no every single time and make it, we'll put sanctions on you and do this and that. And, you know, when it got to the point to where we like, hey, we thinking that y'all might try to do something. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. Do you think that them saying no, they're hiding something to attack us with? Rephrase it for the niggas that may not understand that shit.
A lot of people don't really understand, like, there's a legitimate threat to your safety. There's a
I understand
that is willing to commit terrorist attacks, and they're about to have the ability to create nuclear weapons. Whether you like Trump, all that, none of that matters anymore. Any president.
I watch G.I. Joe. Shit is real. Them motherfuckers on G.I. Joe got real weapons. And I'm like, that shit's real if they put it in a movie. They got them shits. They ready to use them. Blow them up. Sorry.
Nuclear.
As an American, full-blooded, born and raised, yeah, I don't want nothing to happen here. But ain't nothing happened here except for the Twin Towers being attacked.
I put a poll in the chat.
I voted no.
Very simple question. Do you want a nuclear powered Iran? So go fill out the poll, because I would like to know what y'all think, whether it's based on ignorance or based on common sense. Do you want the world's #1 sponsor of terrorism They even acknowledged it. They admit to it. Do you want them to have a nuclear weapon? That's the only question you need to ask yourself. That's the
No,
first
but
question you
now,
should ask before
no,
you start
no,
saying anything about
no,
Trump.
no. But now, check this out. If they have it and they are the number one supporters of terrorists, and we know terrorists don't like us, why haven't we been hit with a dirty bomb?
Why they don't have it yet? They were trying to create it. They were, because you have to enrich uranium to the point where then you can basically split atoms or whatever they do to make it. They hadn't, because you can enrich uranium into just like power cities or, produce electricity, stuff like that. We used to have some nuclear power plants in California. I think we got 1 or 2 left.
I
France
think the
is
San
run off
Diego
of,
one.
France is run, their whole country is run off of nuclear energy. Iran was trying to go past that point. They were going to the point where it was weapons grade, where they can make a nuclear weapon with it. And they were saying
Right.
we're not,
But
but when
all right,
the inspectors were sent in to inspect, they reject them. They wouldn't let them go look to make
I
sure.
get. I know. I hear what you're saying, Tuck. I hear you. But what I'm saying is, knowing that you can build a bomb, a rocket, we know they don't have the rocket ability to shoot that bitch.
They have
So
it, bro. They have it. Why do you think the first people that Israel killed were a bunch of their scientists? Bro, they got rocket scientists over there, physicists, nuclear science, all that. They have it. They definitely have those people who can build that
I'm
stuff.
not saying that they don't. So
If you can put a fortress, if you can put a uranium enrichment facility, bury it inside the base of a mountain, bro, you have technology. In order to do that, you need all types of technology.
right.
You ain't
Now,
no dumbass
but
doing
all right,
that shit.
I'm not saying that they dumb. But what I'm saying is we know that they're terrorists. Why make a rocket when what they've been doing is sending people over here to blow shit up? Why would they make a rocket and not continue doing what they're doing, but use dirty bombs all over the fucking place?
Because Israel, and like as counter-terrorist like measures and training started to improve, it made it harder for them to launch terror attacks into the country they want to destroy, Israel, into the United States of America. It's hard to do that. It takes a lot of money. You also got to have people who are willing to die and be martyred. You got the internet. You got the age of information. It's harder to recruit now. It ain't like back in the day. We got to do this for jihad, and then, okay, yeah, we're going to do it. Now people are like, dude, I got on the internet and learned about this conflict, and it ain't what you telling me it is, type of stuff. They want and really, Iran wanted the nuclear weapon for defense, right? So they were going to continue to fund terrorism. But if any country came against them, like, hey, you're launching terror attacks in my country, I'm going to get you. They would say, can't touch me. I got a nuclear weapon. And if you try to mess with me, I'm going to launch it on you. That's what that is. Nukes are just for deterrence. They're deterrents to make sure nobody tries to invade you or bomb you. And best believe right now, if they had a nuke, they would have launched that bitch.
Okay. To our, how many we got?
It's 166 people watching here right now.
But to how many missiles we have?
Oh, shit, we got thousands.
I'm saying. So they one isn't really a threat if we use our counter nukes.
But they're
Right or wrong?
not. But what you got to understand is they're not going to launch nukes at the United States. They're going to launch nukes at defenseless countries near them as a deterrent. Like say a nigga say like you could beat me up, right? But I say
Right.
like it's like a hostage situation. Yeah, I know that I'm surrounded by the police and they got sharpshooters, but if you don't back the fuck up, I got my gun to this lady head, and if you don't back up, I'm a killer. That's what Iran.
Yeah, but that's when they go at. That's what I brought up earlier about what targets do you think, because we got bases all over the place, and
But
what they were
They
trying
can
to do.
go at some of these bases to go ahead and do some things to make the U.S. scatter while they have an underground communication with other countries. That's why I said you can't underestimate.
But you can't underestimate anybody, but just based on the intelligence, and they really don't have any ability to do that at this point, because they're probably running out of bombs, and Iran was built for defense, not
You think
offense.
that all they had was nuclear bombs and they ain't got nothing else?
They never had nuclear bombs. They had nuclear enrichment facilities where they were almost at the cusp of being able to make bombs.
How many countries still think that they are beneath Iran, though?
A lot.
Okay, so with that being said, a lot means that they still have power over a lot of these other countries to where they can come together like Captain Planet.
No, they all those countries are aligned with Israel now. Egypt is aligned with Israel. Tons of countries are already like, we're down with this. Saudi is aligned with Israel. Jordan is aligned with Israel. All the countries, most of them are like, we're cool with Israel. They are actually against Iran. They don't say that publicly because of the Muslim stuff, but ultimately they're not interceding on behalf of Iran. Because think about it.
That's what we got to see publicly.
Where are those countries?
We got to see that publicly, because put it right now. If Moses and his brother Aaron was alive right now, they would not be allowed to step foot in Israel as it stands right now.
Why?
Am I all right?
Why?
Because of Jesus.
There are tons of Arabs and Palestinians and Muslims living inside of Israel right now. In Israel.
No. I said if look, this is like bringing like magic back at Cooper and them. If Moses was alive with Aaron and Joshua, they would not be allowed to step foot in Israel as what they say right now.
Why?
They would have to be killed.
Why?
Because of Jesus and God.
What are you talking about? Moses.
That's what Earl said earlier. This goes back to just the biblical thing.
You sounding crazy as fuck. Moses and Aaron.
No, I'm not. Moses would not be able to step foot in Israel right now.
Than me. You do not know more about
Moses would not.
Moses
does he not know that my mama is missionary who passed and my dad is Pastor Reese and everybody else?
If your dad is a pastor,
we don't know that.
Moses is.
All right, yeah, all right. We don't know any of that.
Moses and Aaron, it doesn't matter what religious, like, it doesn't matter how high up black churches, people don't know anything about the Bible. Moses and Aaron did not know anything about Jesus Christ. They were not, bro. Moses himself
the teachings went into what Jesus is, and they are the people. They are the people, not the area of Israel. They are the people. He led the people out. He would not be able to step foot in.
Can you let me finish? You clearly don't know. So instead of conceding you don't know, you're going to keep over talking me. Moses when Moses died before Jesus died as a ransom.
Right.
Let me finish my point. Moses can't even be a part of the anointed who rule in heaven with God, because he died before that opportunity or provision was even made. So Moses would have been worshiping just like the Israelites or the Jews in well, he wouldn't have been with the gay shit, all the gay stuff and stuff that they do over there. But traditionally speaking, there are sects in Israel who practice Judaism the same way Moses did. So to say he wouldn't be able to go to Jerusalem or Israel, that is absolutely false. There are
the Israelites, but that goes into the 12 tribes though. But I'm talking about he would not be able to, because he would be going ahead and giving what God told him is going to be coming into red in the Bible. They would have to go ahead and kill him, and he can't come in.
Why would they have to go ahead and kill him? He died before he entered.
Because he can't come in.
But
He
that
can't
wouldn't be,
come in.
that wouldn't be because of them. That is something that God said, and God killed him before he got in. The people wouldn't have to do that. The reason he wouldn't be allowed to set foot in the promised land is because Yahweh told him he couldn't walk in. But if he was resurrected miraculously, he would be able to walk in. You know why? Because the wages for sin is death. Once he died, all sin he committed before dying was forgiven. So you're wrong again. He would be able
Moses
to
went
walk
through everything before it even happened. He went through all that
in.
from birth.
The wages of sin is death. So if Moses were to be resurrected in our day, his sins would be forgiven, and he
That's
would be
how
able
he
to
was
walk.
able to lead the children of Israel out because he was already dead from the jump.
What? See, you just talking nonsense.
What?
He was
What?
dead
That's
from the
not
jump.
nonsense.
That's total
He
nonsense.
was dead from the jump. He had what?
That's nonsense.
He was dead from the
How
jump.
was he dead? How was he dead?
Because of God, he was able to be able to. Someone said, "Hey, I'm out here picking grapes. Got this kid out here just floating. The kid just floating on the water. This kid didn't been able to grow up and do all this stuff and
I want you to get to the point. How was he already dead, bro?
because there's no future.
You're just saying shit now. I knew it. You was just talking.
No, there's no future. God put the future in him. God put the future in him to go ahead to do it.
He was adopted of son of Pharaoh, bro. He had plenty of a bright future. Moses
All
didn't
right.
leave Egypt
All right. He was
40 years old.
adopted. He was adopted. How was he adopted? That was God. He had to go into Pharaoh, and Pharaoh was like, "Damn, motherfucker got staff. We bringing in frogs and blood over your doors and everything, and this motherfucker got Joshua, and his brother is cold too."
That was 80 years later. Stop it.
Because his stepbrother did wrong by the name of God.
The Bible don't talk about stepbrother.
Oh,
that's from the
Brandon.
movie.
Brandon, that's why I like you. You will fight till you can't fight no more, and you will put it up. That's why I love when I see you on there, man.
When I seen you two on here, bro, I knew this was gonna be good. Cause Tuck, you said it right. Tuck fight to his last breath. I've seen it done during football practices.
This is basic biblical knowledge. Like,
no, this ain't no fight. No, but we talking about. All right, who would you rather have on your team, Moses or Jesus? You gonna pick one of the two.
Jesus or Moses? I would probably rather have Moses.
You will have one or two on your team.
I would rather have Moses. Moses was more gangster than Jesus.
So, yeah, he
look. At least that's what the books say. At least that's what the books say.
Jesus was like, turn the other cheek. Moses was like, look, you, and you, get y'all swords. We about to go kill these niggas.
Nah, that's what I say. But I say Joshua was the main hitman for Moses. He said, Joshua, go handle this.
Well, Joshua was a general.
Yeah, he said, go handle this.
Moses was raised in the house of Pharaoh, so you know he has some squabble on him.
Yeah, but he saw the evil. He saw the devil himself and challenged him.
Out of here. No, he didn't. You added stuff. No, he didn't. He didn't see no damn devil himself. Moses saw a Hebrew getting beat up by 2 Egyptians, and Moses jumped in and killed the Egyptians, and he got ran up out of Egypt. Bro.
Man,
I'm
not God. God, you watching me right now. I am not going with that. Moses is your Moses. I love him.
Bible says, literally.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible literally says. He killed an Egyptian.
He went in there and Moses went in there and shut shit down. He said, I need you to go ahead and make sure that they know that they are not the one.
Where was Satan?
He used Moses for that.
Where was Satan at?
Satan was all up in that. Unless you're gonna say that it was the Sumatrians and fucking all that shit. Unless you're gonna go ahead and do all that.
I'm not gonna do the thing where we determined that ancient African civilizations were inherently demonic so that we can satisfy this need for like biblical stuff to be true. The Bible, as far as we know, is a book of mythology. Egypt
I
was
like how you
I'm
put
gonna go
that.
with this. If we gonna go with the book of mythologies, all religious books lead back to the Egyptian Bible.
100%. The book of the dead.
Everything, every word in every Bible is from that book. Every story is just rewritten for control.
Listen, that's what you look. Those who know. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Like, we're not gonna say that the Egyptians was a bunch of demon worshipers just so Moses and the homies could be vindicated. Egypt stood for thousands of years. Israel stood for how many years? Not many. Even when they finally got a little designated place, if they ever really did, they got conquered repeatedly. So
Yeah,
I'm not.
but they, the people,
But why
have
are they
always
moving?
stood.
If
Exactly.
your country becomes a world empire, something about what you're doing is better than a country that never became that. That has always been
They are
kind
the
of
people that said that we gonna be fighting forever.
yeah, but you listen. Israel was not better than the Assyrians or the Babylonians or the Egyptians.
Oh
Those
my
countries,
goodness.
those empires
Ain't
became
nobody better because
yeah, they
if you
are.
go back, no. If you go back
A mansion is better than a hut,
I
bro.
know you're not I know you're not a dumb dude, Brandon. I know you're not a dumb dude, so I will never come at you in no other way. You already know that there were other people there that believed in other things that they said that you were all the same. You agree with that, right? We
Say
don't
that.
kill them. We don't do that. We have other people here around the same area to where we do not kill them. We don't do this. We are all the same because we are all under one thing because of how brothers, maybe one brother maybe live over here. One brother may live over here. But in actuality, we are all the same. You agree with that, right?
I mean, I don't know. As long as you agree with it, that's all that matters. Hey guys, look, thank you guys. It was great having y'all up here. I appreciate y'all. I'm getting a bit sleepy now. Thank all of you for watching. Everyone in the chat, everyone contributed. Everyone who hit the like button, please hit the like button. This is it. That's what it was. Everyone, Brandon is Israel first and all that stuff. You guys are just saying that because you don't want to look at the situation objectively. You're gonna have to get
They
to the
don't know
point.
shit.
You got to get to the point where you can look at things objectively. Do me a favor. Stop pretending to care about other people's children more than you care about your own children. Your children are in America. They deserve to be protected. They don't deserve to be abandoned and thrown to the side so mommy and daddy can feel self-righteous pretending like they care about something they don't. Our children deserve safety. If America is the country we live in that keeps us safe, I'm going to support America. If America decides to side with Israel, I'm going to support America. You talk about Jewish people. Jewish people ain't did nothing to you like that. I mean, I know some Jewish people do some shady stuff with business, but black folks do some shady stuff with business. So get that bullshit out of here, man. Like, you can't judge a whole group of people based on what a couple people do. Black folks love to, we're not a monolith, but try to make everyone else a monolith. Don't be hypocritical. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate
Hey,
everything.
Brandon, but before you head on off, you be in Orange County, so I want to. We go link up. We go ahead and eat a couple burritos and link up for lunch. So hit me so we can go ahead and make that happen.
Have you ever been to? There's a place in Garden Grove.
Ooh,
It has like an
talking about
Elvis
Garden
thing.
You
Club.
know, that's his stopping grounds right there, Tuck.
Hey, what's that place? It's like an Elvis theme. It's right on like that little. It's like a little strip park in Garden Grove. They got like some. It's
You can't say a strip park because Garden Grove got Harbor, Garden Grove got Fairview, Garden Grove got, you know what I'm saying? Garden Grove got Westminster Street. Garden Grove got 1st, 4th, 5th
You'll know this street.
Street.
It's like a little, it's like a damn, it's like a little, there's a lot of businesses on it. I don't know if that's like downtown or like the arts district or something.
The Arts District, is it by the block of Orange where Theo Lacey is?
I don't know what that is. The block of Orange, I know
Oh,
what
Theo
that is.
Lacey is the Orange. Yeah, a lot of course. That's where the family court is. Theo Lacey is the Orange County Jail next to the animal park,
Hey,
the
bro,
animal
what's the
hospital,
name of that
and all
restaurant
that.
you always tell me with those garlic tacos? Azteca. La Azteca, right?
La Azteca. Look.
Azteca.
I'm gonna give you my phone number live because I do it every single time I'm live. Brandon, look. 951.
No, what the
Type
heck are you
this
doing?
in.
No, just put it in the back chat, in the private chat. Just type your number in there. I got a
Oh,
lot of
you in the
haters.
private chat.
Bro, they
Oh,
will
yeah. Hey,
yeah, they'll destroy you. My Tariq Nasheed
they won't
said
destroy me.
they will be
I'm
upset.
ready for everything.
Just put it in the back chat. I'll see it.
I'm about
I'm
to do it right
surprised y'all
now.
even linked up like this, fellas. For real, for real. Like, this
Everybody in
is
the
No,
funny as
internet.
hell to
Earl.
me.
No, Earl. I seen him on No Jumper, and I was like, hold up. He said he went to Cabrillo, and he said how old he was. And I was like, hold up. I be on No Jumper all the time. And I was like, he must have went to school with Earl. And I was thinking, like, if him and Earl was on the line at one time, them big ass motherfuckers was taking some shit down. Because Earl's a judo champ, and this nigga was like, he do jujitsu and shit. I was like, these motherfuckers know some shit. And then I just hopped on this shit. I said, let me see if he's finna go on live today. He went on live, clicked this link, and said, do you know Earl? He said, yeah. And then whoop de whoop, and then that's how it went. And then
Wait,
I went on
what's your name?
Facebook,
What's
Earl.
your name again? Robert?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'm finna put it in the back.
I got it right now. I see it behind you on your backdrop.
Oh yeah, that's my shit. Yeah. Yeah, that's my shit. Hot Facts with Robert Reef. I'm the official news channel of the gig economy, but I do First Amendment audits, and I like to get into shit like this because that's what I do. Over 4 million views here on Facebook. On YouTube, and then across all social media. I've been on Grindface TV. I've been on all type of shit, and they've used my shit. I made money off of them, and I got across 30 million views across social media. So, and me and Earl have been down since going to Tom's and Fantastic Burgers and going to Silverado and everything.
Oh, damn.
Come on now. And Earl Mama flushed my weed down the toilet when she found it when it was a yeah. Earl, let's go ahead and keep it real.
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep it
Hey,
real.
nigga. Hey, it happened. It
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, and we've been cool ever since. And Earl saw me dunk on many niggas at Kings Park.
All right, well, there you go. All right, I'll holler at y'all later. Thank y'all all for watching. Thank you to the audience. I appreciate all y'all. Till the next time. Peace.
All right,
One
fellas.
love.